When do we choose an automation tool? No idea?
To automate any application.
Save
to
time.
reduce time.
Or reduce the
Okay.
manpower.
Manpower.
Better accuracy.
Okay. For implicit and complexity, we choose automation testing. Automation testing. Implicit is nothing but repetitive process. Complexity in the sense long-term or high-risk projects. High-risk projects. So in that case, we used to go for automation. So usually when you go for manual testing, we are going to do on regression testing, retesting, compatible testing, configuration testing. Those kind of things have been worked out, right? Ad hoc testing, exploratory testing. Have you heard these terms, right? You all be known.
Yes, Balakrishna.
Okay.
Says Balakrishna.
Now, what do you remember? What is the difference between a regression testing and retesting?
After a developer fixes the defect, the testing team will retest the application, that is called retesting. Checking any other functionalities are affected or not, that is called regression testing.
Any other?
Guys, respond, guys.
Any
Everyone.
other? Yeah. What's the difference between regression testing? What's the difference between regression testing? Yeah, tell me.
This is Manoj. Yeah, whenever a customer needs an updation in the particular application, due to that updation, there may be any code changes. So due to that code changes, if there is any that code changes, is there any affecting particular module or something? So that for checking for that purpose, we will do regression testing. Whenever we once a developer fixes the code and when it comes to us, we will do one round of rechecking, right? So we'll do one retesting whether the particular bug has been fixed or not. It's called retesting.
Is it correct? For example, I given a login window, right? I have given a login window. In the login window, my username is not responding properly. That means that the username should accept 16 characters, right? Instead of 16 characters, but it is accepting only 12 characters. So what I'm doing, I'm going to send this to developer. Developer is going to fix and is going to resolve it. Now, what kind of testing we're going to do? Whether we're going to do regression testing or retesting?
Yeah, we will do retesting.
Retesting.
Sure. Yes. So whatever the whatever the changes, we are going to recheck the application. That is a retesting, right? Regression testing is that what? You are going to check the whole entire application along with the modifications. It should not affect it, right? Do we do the retesting initial or do we do the regression testing initial? Which type of testing will be done?
Retesting.
Retest.
So the retesting will be a part of the initial stage once it's been affected your application. Here, implicit that means repetitive process. The repetitive process in the sense, it may be regression testing or it may be retesting. It may be a regression testing or retesting. In some cases, some of the applications cannot be resolved. Keep going on, continuing the process until the developer is keep going on resolving. The same process will be repetitive process. It will be a repetitive process. So what they'll do, they are going to convert some test cases into test scripts by using some programming languages like Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, PHP, and C#. Here, we use a tool called as a Selenium, actually called as a Selenium. which is used to test your functional application. So here, implicit method repetitive process, complexity is long-term or high-risk projects like banking, telecom, insurance, finance, those kind of projects we can go for automation tool. Now, so we have some of the automation tools are functional testing tools, performance testing tools, and security testing tools. These are the different types which comes under. You are a functional tester. Your role is to test your application by manual as well as automation. So a functional tester role is to write the test cases either in Excel sheet or test management tool or by using bug tracking tool. So if you're using manual, we are going to write them in test cases either in Excel sheet or test management tool or by using bug tracking tools. I think you have been using reporting tools, right? What kind of reporting tools you've been using? Have you used any two reporting tools for manual?
Zira QA.
Zira you use, right?
Yes, yes.
So you know how to detect the defects and send developer reportings. Everything have been done, right? Sure? Are you all confident in the bug tracking tools? No idea. I'm not getting any response from your people, guys.
No
We
idea.
have idea in Jira, but we don't have full-fledged knowledge on it.
You've been working in Excel sheet, right?
Yes.
You've been working in Excel sheet. So some companies, no need to worry about that. Some companies, what they'll do is they'll write some Excel sheets and they're going to import these test cases in reporting tools also. Like some are called as a test management tool or some are bug tracking tools are there. So if you go for test management tools like quality center, test director, test lodge. These are all test management tool, which the tester is going to involve in this process. Now, bug tracking tools, like some bug tracking tools are there. Bug tracking tools like Bugzilla, Zira, Mantis. These are all bug tracking tools. The involvement of both the testers as well as developers. That means that the test is going to detect it. Similarly, the developer is going to resolve it. So both process will become under bug tracking tools. It comes under bug tracking tools. Now, so you are using a functional tester, right? So we use manual and automation. When you come to the automation tools like Windrunner, next QTP, UFT, Selenium, SoapUI. These are all functional testing tools. Some tools are used for functional like window application. You can test it, window application, web applications. Some tools are used only to test your web applications, which cannot be compatible and which cannot be worked with the different window components or desktop components. So if you want to work on window application, web application, we use a tool called as a Selenium. Actually, it is an open source tool. If you are a performance tester, you already worked in manual, right? Load testing and stress testing, right? So usually used to work with manual. So when you go for an automation, we use a tool called as a SoapUI. where we are going to do the load as well as stress testing, Security testing tools are also there. SOAPIA is also a part of security testing. Is also security testing. Authorization, authentication, encrypt mode, decrypt mode. There are many different mode methods which comes under security. But usually you are a functional test, so you should at least to be confident on what functionality you're going to test using manual and what functionality you're going to test using automation by writing scripts. Now, if you go for the first part of your automation is a Selenium. Anybody heard the term called Selenium tools? Are you all comfortable with core Java? Anybody? All of you know the core Java or no idea, right?
No idea.
Nobody's having idea of core Java, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm hearing only two voices. I am not getting any information from others.
No idea.
Okay,
No idea, Balakshmi.
Okay, no problem. Now, when you come to the Selenium, Selenium is an open source tool, which is used to test web applications. It is an open source tool, which is used to test your web applications. Open source is nothing but it is a free downloading software. It is a free downloading software. Some are licensed versions are the 30-day trial versions. Once it is over, then we can uninstall it, again install it. Some versions are there without any downloading, without any licensed version. Just you could click on that, automatically you can use any number of users, any time you can use it out. Any operating system will also support it. Open source is a free downloading software. It is a platform. It is a platform independent tool. It's a platform independent tool. That means it will support any operating system. You can run the application in Windows 7, Windows 8, Mac, Unix, Linux. There are different operating systems are going to work on that. So you can test your application in different operating system. Even Java is a platform independent. Python is a platform independent. Okay, na? So it is a platform open source tool and platform independent tool. Selenium supports programming languages like Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, PHP, and C#. These are the programming languages the Selenium supports. Using Selenium, if I'm going very fast, just let me know. And if you have any doubt, you can raise your questions. Okay. Is okay? So using Selenium, we can test any number of pages, browsers in multiple operating systems. That means that any number of pages in the sense, Gmail, Yahoo, Reddit, Flipkart, different 4 pages are there. Browsers like Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome. Multiple operating system, Windows 7, Windows 8, Mac, Unix. So multiple applications can be tested in multiple browsers, in multiple operating system at a time using Selenium. Next, Selenium supports browsers like Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome, and Firefox. It supports any browsers. It supports any number of browsers. Next, initially, this tool supports multiple multiple web applications parallel. You can test any number of applications using Selenium. Actually, it is a functional and regression testing. It is a functional and regression testing tool. Regression testing tool. Now, using Selenium, we can run now. Selenium is classified into four categories. The first one is called IDE, second one is RC, third one is WebDriver, and the fourth one is Grid. So these are the four components which comes under Selenium. Now, so you're saying Selenium, what is the definition of Selenium? What the use of the Selenium? First, if you go for definition of Selenium is a set of test suite automation tools which are used to test web applications is known as a Selenium. Test suite is nothing but multiple components. Using multiple components, you can test web applications. So here we'll call the components are nothing but IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. These are the four components, four automation, multiple automation tools, which are used to test your web applications. Here, IDE and RC are outdated versions, which is supported for only for older version of your operating system, older version of operating systems. It doesn't support latest version of your operating system. It will support older version of your operating system. Next, WebDriver and Grid are latest versions which supports multiple configured elements. That means that it will support the latest version of your configured elements is latest operating systems like Windows 7, Windows 8, Mac, Unix, Linux, and the operating systems. So WebDriver. So 99%, 98% of the companies usually used to work with WebDriver and Grid. And this ID and RC are outdated versions. We are not using this part. So just to know the basic, that's more than enough. But in interview, 90% questions are asked on WebDriver and 10% on Grid. Just if they were required it, you will ask you the basic structure of RC and Grid. RC and IDE. But mostly you choose to concentrate on WebDriver and Grid. So after 10 minutes, it's going to disconnect. Please rejoin again, all of you. Okay. Now, the first part called is the IDE, will called as Integrated Development Environment. We called as a environment. Actually, this is a record and playback tool. User no need to write any scripts. Automated when you click on a record and then you Any doubts? This is a record and playback tool, mean that the user no need to write scripts manually. Once you click on record and when you perform some operations on web application, the script automatically generated is a record and playback. That is, automated script is called as recording. So this recording or the recorded script will be generated in the form of HTML. Whatever, for example, you want to open a Gmail page, you want to enter some username and password, and you want to click on OK button and you want to close it. So these operations, when you're performing in record and playback, the script automatically generates in the form of HTML. Next, user cannot validate during runtime process. We can't make any changes, but we can do some assertions, some functions in that part. Okay, next. The supported browser for IDE is Firefox. Actually, it is an internal add-in function. It is an internal add-in function in Firefox. It doesn't support any other browsers like Chrome, Safari, Opera, Internet Explorer. These browsers are not compatible for IDE. It supports only a Firefox browser. It will support only Firefox browser. Next, the reports can be generated. The reports can be generated in the form of .html. So you can generate the reports which are in the form of .html. Next, here we can test any number of pages in a single browser, within a single operating system. Within a single operating system. That means that it will support only Firefox browser, and it supports only the one operating system with older version. For example, sir, I want to test my Gmail page under Firefox and with Windows 2000 or Windows 98 or Win 98. So it will be supported, but latest version will not be supported for IDE. Okay, so we can test any number of pages, Gmail, Yahoo, Ready, Flipkart, in a single browser, Firefox, in a single operating system, Windows 28 or Windows 98. So this is a pattern. So this is an outdated version, sir. If I want to run the same application, Chrome or Safari latest version, this is not compatible to test it. So they use the next tool called as a remote control. This is an outdated version. Later on, they use a tool called as a remote control. No. This is a server-based tool. This is a server-based, means that once you connect this server will be interacted with the browser and the page at a time. Without the server, you cannot interact with the browser and the page. This is a server scripting programming language. This is a server scripting programming tool. JavaScript. Use a JavaScript. So this is a server scripting programming tool, which is used for testing your application. Next, this tool is used to test functional and regression test. Functional and regression test. Do you hear me? Anybody having doubts? Anybody?
No.
Right? Is it okay? Next, using RC, we can test any number of pages, browsers in a single. This is also with a single operating system with the latest also older version. So the main difference is it will support only Firefox, and it supports multiple browsers. That supports only Firefox. That's the difference. The meaning of the same, but one more thing is going to work it out. So next, the reports can be generated. The reports can be generated in the form of .xml file, extended markup language. So whatever the programming, whatever the script is being generated, if you want to generate the reports for the mismatch functionality, that report will be in the form of .xml file, Using RC, framework design is possible by TestNG or JUnit. Test next generation or JavaUnit. There are two methodologies where you can design your frameworks. So the latest version for designing the framework is TestNG. The older version is JUnit. Now we are going to, I'll show you how you can design your framework using TestNG. Next, in this RC, cross-browser and parallel testing is possible. Anybody? What do you mean by cross-browser? Can anybody tell me? What do you mean by cross-browser?
At the moment we run the test case with different browsers.
Any other? No other? Cross-browser is single application can be tested in multiple browsers. At a time is called cross-browser. If you consider Gmail page, I want to test my Gmail page into Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome, Firefox. At a time, you can run them in different browsers. That is cross-browser. Parallel testing in the sense, multiple applications can be tested in multiple browsers at a time. Multiple browsers at a time is known as parallel testing. Example is Gmail page. You can run your Gmail page in Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Chrome, and Firefox at a time. That is older version of an operating system. Now, parallel testing is multiple applications. Example, Gmail with IE. Next, Amazon with Firefox. Next, Yahoo with Chrome. Next, Flipkart with Opera. So these are all different browsers in different operating system can be tested. This is called parallel testing. That is called cross-browser testing. So these two also we can do it in. Now here we are going to do the framework design, mean that you can extract the data from the other external files, which are in the form of Excel sheet or XML file, something like that. So you can extract the data from the external files Excel sheet. Using that data, you are going to write some scripts in the tool and you're going to interact this tool to your application